Hello, good morning. Welcome to another ES Futures trading stream. Today is the first day of October. It is 9:28, just 1 minute before the opening. The market has a muted reaction to ADP. I'm paying a lot of attention to the 6700, the 6700 number here. In the first stream of the week, we talk about Jim Dalton, right? One of the most important things of trading is to keep our minds open, right? And being flexible, being able to remain. I don't know how to say this, neutral, but able. Okay, let's see the market before going over there. What the market does. Yesterday the market opened inside previous day range. Right now, as we speak, notice where the market is, right, has opened pretty much at the same level as yesterday. Okay, we have inventory that is 100% short. There was a process of rebalancing happening, but all of this that we have seen during the overnight comes directly as a consequence of this rally that we have yesterday. Where the market is opening below the spike, which is a sign that it's not good. It doesn't reflect a strong market. That's one thing, right? The other thing we have from yesterday is once I am going backwards here, okay? I'm going from the present moment to this point in time. Once the market started, or once the market took this high out and give us a spike, right, and took this high out, the main thing that I was trying to find out is this market going to close above yesterday, above previous day high, which is this one, right? This one here. It had a chance to close above here. It didn't. It rather gave us a really, the market closed way below this high here, relative to the profile, I mean, and inside previous day range, which is in the bar chart is this thing here. Okay, it took this trend line out and closed it right there. Now, that's why I have this market here, this trend line. This is from yesterday. Right now, that trend line 67.19 would be down here. Where is it? 19 here. Okay, this is where I'm going to put the trend line, which is this one here. And why I do that, I don't trade using those things, but I see, I acknowledge that traders see use those references a lot. This can be used as a support, or it can be used as a resistance, if any. Okay? And this was short covering. What happened yesterday was short covering. It was hard to get into. It was painful to see. But if you have some idea of what was happening before, or what happened before, I'm talking about this day here. This day here. The lack of access at the highs. Not just that, but what we have this day, I mean, it's overnight, right? There's a bunch of stops here. Checking these stops here. Checking these ones. And ultimately, which it didn't complete, there is a 23 wide high up here, which is the all-time high. That includes this overnight here. Okay. Once the market started to make this movement, there was no reason, man. There was no reason to be short in this market. I know that the news were bad, that the shutdown, the shutdown of the government was pretty much a confirmed fact, pretty much a fact. But it doesn't mean, right? Just because there is that new, it doesn't mean I am going to be short in the market. Because many times, considering also what all these things that I have just mentioned, and consider the fact that everybody knows that, everybody knew that, and shorting just provides, or may provide the fuel the market needs to move higher. Right? Every single reference, every single inventory that was built to the downside, very questionable, very weak inventory. We talked about this maybe, I guess, yesterday, before yesterday. It was just getting taken care of. Now, what followed after that, which was a complete reversal of that, I didn't take advantage of this movement. I got my day pretty much closed before this happened, and there's something that I hear out there that I like it, and it is, sometimes I hear this from Tom Hogarth, and he says that there's a saying out there that says, I'd rather be out of the market wishing to be in the market than being in the market wishing to be out. Right? Something like that happened. Some sort of that thing happened to me yesterday, especially because what I saw here was value lower, Nasdaq as well, and this was against everything, right? I believe the movement was power. That has a lot to do with being end of the month as well. I think that was the main thing from yesterday. And if anything, remember, if all the news were painting to the downside, everybody knew the market was going lower, guess who was going to be doing what, right? Just ask yourself that question. Sometimes works. There's tremendous amount of pressure to the downside, but if it doesn't happen, we have to be able to adapt. And a lot of that happened yesterday. And most of my gains yesterday actually came from Nasdaq. Nasdaq Nasdaq was clearly that was to the downside, way more than ES. ES ended lower, but most of the day was kind of like almost inside, value inside yesterday's value. Right now, again, the ADP was not good. The government shutdown is a fact. There is another meeting that is happening right now in the Senate. Anything can come out of that. If something positive comes out of that, this market can leap through this area and make a new high. Remember, there's still inventory, very questionable inventory, very weak inventory down here. What I am observing is the fact that the market had the chance to remove or to rebalance this inventory, the lack of excess that we have in the high, the tremendous amount of stops that are here, the very weak inventory, very weak short inventory that is in this area. But the market didn't do it yesterday. Right? Now, as we speak, as the market open, I come to this market neutral and actually come with a slight bias to the downside. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be shorting, right? But my bias is to the downside. But what I am seeing here, for example, right now is 939. Volume is low, right? Oh, one of the things that happened here also is volume was lower all day until JK came. When JK started coming to the market just changed. That was the first sign of change that this market has. How I know that? What I use, you know, I use T-bar, I use Thinkorswim, and this is, notice how was here, and there is a sudden change, right? Look at this. Change. There's subtle, right? Subtle change. Now in the lower side, in the weekly, what is this reference? That low is 66.26. That's 100 points below the opening today. Notice the amount of volume we have here. Very mechanical buying here. Right? I think it is my belief that inventory is being accumulated here. Notice the amount of whites here, but volume is coming up here. I don't know, man. They have to be very careful here. One of the main things that we have to deal with this market is uncertainty. Short covering weakens the market. However, inventory is, it is in my belief, right? It is my opinion that inventory is in the short side. The accumulation of inventory is in the short side right now. So there is inventory here that can move this market higher. But can you see the contradicting opinion that I have, for example, in the very short time frame relative to the longer time frame? My opinion on the longer time frame can be negative, but markets don't move in straight lines. And my business, the job I do, has to do a lot with how do I take advantage of the rebalancing of these inventories that we have in the short term. Because I trade the intraday. I don't hold trades overnight, much less weekly or that kind of time frame, right? Now, as the market opened, one of the first things, okay, let me close this profile, and I will see. I didn't mark this, but this was This was the overnight distribution being closed. Okay? Remember, the theme from last week was that none of the attempts to close the distributions from overnight or regular trading hours sessions profiles were successful. It is the opposite today. I mean, this week. I hope you have noticed that. The overnight distribution has closed. Yesterday's distribution was closed. Inventory was the very short time frame. I think what this was short covering yesterday. That's my opinion, it was short covering, but I don't see yet the sideways trading that comes after that. The accumulation is the upper side. Just imagine what can happen to all of these longs, right, that close up here, or that came to the market after this spike, after this high was taken, right? All of this inventory. What do you think this inventory or these longs would be thinking now that the market is opening down here? Right now, these participants may be thinking, okay, what is going on here? Should I close? The market is coming back to my entry. I am almost break even. What do I do now? Yeah? And as the market opens, okay, as the market is developing right now, the first thing that I am checking now is, this is the first period, right? This is the first period. Getting this high out, this one here, during this period, in the first 30 minutes, that would be a sign of strength. Okay? This was questionable. All of this movement was questionable. Remember where it came from. Right? There's a lack of excess here. Very questionable low here, exactly a POC, this POC. Half back here. That's why I have this mark here. Half back here at M as well. Very emotional rally to close the market. Remember, end of the month was yesterday as well. That is short covering, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. The thing is, if this market now, remember, can you see this? There's no give back here. The market opened here, there was nothing. The 6,700 is right there. But if this high is taken during A, that can means there's some change going on. Now look at the accumulation that we have up here. Accumulation from the overnight. I have a muted reaction to the market, to ADP, right? Basically, the market open. I can do this here now, okay? If I see now, I can do this. I can just remove this rally here. I can just disregard this movement and consider this part as the whole session of yesterday. And the market opened inside previous day range. Right now has taken this high out. This is another view, right? Instead of being this high, it has taken previous day high out, because this I would associate to end of the month. Right? That's another form, another way to see this market. Now there is accumulation here, 67.18, 67.18. This accumulation above this high. Okay, how can I do that? Let me split this profile and J. Okay, and now I am going to standard profile. Okay, I don't take the market as this thing. Only this way. Right? This is the base of the spike, or it can be considered also high. But notice what is happening to value, right? POC also, as the day developed, POC was moving higher. I may, I may sound like I am trying to justify a bias to the downside, but I am trying to remain as neutral as possible. Okay, now upside continuation here. Okay, upside continuation. We see the market taking this L high here. Now, I don't want the next period to come back inside this range, because if that happens, the next thing that is inside could be this low. Nasdaq is inside. Nasdaq has come back. This is the opening on Nasdaq. This low has been checked. Now we have this one here. It's an inside day Nasdaq. Oh, something that I have noticed in these indices, something. This is the ES, right? This is the ES. Nasdaq looks very similar to the ES. I guess Nasdaq has support right where it is right now. The next thing is down below around the 2400. Russell seems to be to a very elongated hill, but I want to show you this. I want to show the Dow. Dow has really nice X's here. Has X's in the monthly, has X's in the weekly, and especially particularly in the daily time frame. It has really nice X's here. I wonder what kind, and this market it has a range here already. It is what the resolution is going to be. These highs are very questionable though. This one is good, but these ones are not. I want to see the market can challenge this high and be sold from this area, maybe before taking this high. No, I don't know. No? There was an attempt to extend this market to the downside. More buying is coming from the 6700 here. From this day, during this day, I guess this was Friday, was it? Yeah, Friday was really hard, man, really hard. There was a potential trade here. The ultimate destination is coming to this area, to this low down here. Right? But it never happened. Right? It never happened. The market took care of the weak inventory. In this case, this one here. Notice what happened. What we have here, right? Actually, it did not take care of this. I guess it has to do something with what happened during this day in the upper side, but the weak long inventory that's holding this base or is making this area as a support is still here. The same thing that we have up here, in the same way that we have up here. So that is, we talk about this, that's one of the reasons that we have to remain very flexible here. really to analyze, really to absorb information. Okay. I'm going to mix to join that profile. Please, if you have any comments or questions, just put it out there. I am not a genius. I am just one. I'm just another trader that's trying to make a living here. There are no 2 days that are the same, and usually, even though I have a positive day yesterday, I didn't like the day. I didn't like my performance, right? Because I considered that I did too many trades. I did too many trades, way too many. And that's not good. I guess I was impatient yesterday. That got reflected later on when the opportunity came and I wasn't able to take advantage of it. What can be happening now is the market always has to deal, not has all business feels, right? I think this rally here has a lot to do with the extremely short inventory that we have from the overnight. Right? Now, once that is being has been dealt with, the next thing could be this long here. Right? Remember, the market was going higher here. We stated, right? We stated that. Just imagine, being long here, having the market all the way down here and opening here, and the market coming back to your position. What do you do, right? Many will say, "Gosh, thank you for coming back. Let me get out of this. I'm never going to be long again." Right? If you can take advantage of those kind of movements, and that's good. This area of tremendous, this area here, the 6700, has a lot of not just short-term weak inventory, but there is something here, right? There actually is something, and that's why I have this highlights, these levels highlighted here, because this is coming from this day. This tremendous amount of inventory that came as the market went higher, closes up high, and there was no give back here during this day. No, I think that it was Friday. It closes way at the high, and it didn't collapse after that. Not in the way that this day happened. Right, it closes at the high. It remained up there, and the subsequent days, it just couldn't get through this. Right? It just couldn't get through. It came one, twice, a third time. It didn't even get closer to this area. Right? I want to see what happens here. As I say, I have a bias here, but there's a lot of things that can happen here. We have non-farm payrolls on Friday. Any kind of agreement regarding the shutdown may come to the market at any given time. So that is adding risk to whatever position we may have here. I think it will be I think it can be important to keep an eye on the news. Just check who is buying here. Right? Who is buying here? The buying is coming pretty much exactly from the opening. I don't have anything right now. The high, the overnight high, look at that, exactly the saddle. Last has been taken. Do you remember how the inventory was built yesterday? Around this area, around what is this? Around the 6700, right? The same thing is happening today. It's slightly higher, right? So there's tremendous amount of inventory around the 6700. So something may come out of this, but we have to have patience here. We never know the direction. And the most important thing, we never know when. Look at that, man, look at that. Do you see that flickering there? Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth from the opening. Oh, okay, something else. Today we have a 9:45 we had a PMI, 10 we had ISM. Just I guess this is ISM. It's getting out of the way now. And construction spending. I guess ISM is getting out of the way now. Let's see what happens after this. Nasdaq is building value lower. Notice this relative to this day and today relative to yesterday. Check this out. Check out this 6 up here. At the end of the day of today, this is another thing that I am observing now. It's where inventory is going to be built relative to this reference here. Relative to this reference, below the spike or above this spike. Building inventory, building value above here, it's sign as acceptance of higher prices, but building below is rejection. Okay, and look at that. This also, this little piece of information here. Last. $66.87. This could be the low here. Come on, man. Now, another, I guess we talked already about that. We have ADP, negative news there, but the market just didn't care. Now, all eyes are on non-farm payrolls. I saw on Fridays non-farm payrolls. bonds are going lower. Huh. When yields are going lower, which means the bonds are going higher. That's good. I mean, that's some. Let's show you some relief here. Look at this. This is good for the market. This is not good. Oh god, that man! It seems like crude can actually take this low out. Look at that. May challenge this. May be targeting the 60 level here. It's about to break out to the downside here. Notice it. Oh boy. This is not good. This is another sign that the economy is not. Because this is energy, right? Being the short size is getting dangerous. The dollar. There can be a breakout at any time here. The gold, man. This gold is targeting the 5,000. I guess this market can go all the way to 5,000 here. How fast? That's the question. The breakout is just starting. If you see this, can you see? It's breaking out of this range. It's really nice, man. Really nice. There's a lot of passions here. I think the 4,000 is a fact now. Short covering here. So we have seen the other markets. There is some mixed information there actually. There's some information that reinforces the short side, the short view, the lower side. Another piece of information is depending on how you see markets. There's another ones that actually strengthen the long case. I don't like this, right? I don't like the fact that this market has calmed down almost almost the whole period, right? Has come back inside this range here, right? But I won't let my bias to get in the way here, because as you can see here, value actually is to the upper side. Value is overlapping higher. We have a 3-day range here, with the current day range pretty much at the center of the 3-day range. We may see another rotational day here, or who knows, maybe a trend day that can aim. This is the thing, right? The market may be aiming to take these highs out. If it does so, the upside extension, we may have some spike here at the upside, because the amount of stops up here are just too big to ignore, man. That's just too big to ignore. And look at this, right? If I am looking at this high, I am taking in consideration data that have recorded, data that the market has gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days ago, right? That's almost 2 weeks ago. I have entered we have entered this week with personally. Personally, I entered the week um, with nothing on mind really. Right? There was a lot of information, a lot of economy data that was scheduled to be released during the week, but I didn't have anything really, right? I thought the market needs to build something before. Oh, look at this. Let's hear this.
For American citizens. They themselves position that primary choice is absurd. Listen to what the Democrats are demanding. They demanded in exchange for our simple, clean, 24-page bipartisan continuing resolution, the same one that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats voted for just a few months back in March. In exchange for that, they rejected it and they demanded something else. They wanted us to add over $1.5 trillion in new federal spending, paid for, of course, by hardworking American taxpayers, simply for funding the government at current Biden level spending levels. We are not going to do that. We can't do that. We won't do it. Almost 2 weeks ago, the House did our job. In the House, we passed a common sense, nonpartisan bill to keep the government open. Republicans did our job. We had one Democrat join us there, so it was bipartisan. But every other Democrat in the House voted to shut the government down. And last night, 44 Democrats in the Senate did the same thing. This is a clean resolution. It would simply buy Congress a few more weeks, 7 weeks, to finish the job. Why do we need that time? So that appropriators in both parties can finish their work. They've been restoring regular order. They've passed 12 separate bills out of committee in the House, and the Senate has done its work as well. 3 bills of the 12 passed in each chamber. They don't line up exactly, so there's a conference committee constituted, the first time in years that that's happened. We just need more time because we ran out of clock at the end of the fiscal year, September 30. This is very important to note. Democrats themselves have voted to pass a clean bipartisan CR just like this 13 times in the last few years. During the 4 years of the Biden administration, 13 times this happened. Republicans did the responsible thing, even when we were in the minority, to keep the government open. And today should be no different. There is nothing new in this legislation. There's no poison pill. There's no partisan tricks. There's no gimmicks whatsoever. The only difference today is the man who is sitting in the Oval Office. Rather than work with President Trump and Republicans to get this job done, as our party has done repeatedly in the same situation over the years, Democrats want to play political games with the lives and the livelihoods of Americans. The simple truth is Democrats in Congress have dragged our country into another reckless shutdown to satisfy their far-left base. That is the truth. Whether or not the government remains open or reopens is entirely up to them. There's still time for Democrats to pass this clean bipartisan bill that's sitting before them, and we encourage our Democrat colleagues to do that. I certainly pray they'll come to their senses soon and do the right and responsible thing. The reason they will have one more opportunity today.
It sounds like nothing is coming out of this. But this is part of the business, right? The uncertainty. Oops. I don't know what can happen here, really. You know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break here. Um, let me turn this one off. It's distracting here. Usually the market gives us opportunities, maybe one or two opportunities a day, maybe one or two big ones a week, but we never know when it's going to happen, right? And if I have a bias, as I am having now, it's kind of dangerous, because when we have biases, even though in my case I acknowledge the bias, that's something that is there, that is kind of blocking me to see the whole, the market as a whole, right? The habit, I may lose perspective of what's going on. I can be so fixated on what I want to happen, rather to be paying attention to what is happening, and that's what matters. The only thing that matters is what is happening. I have started to see things in this market that I haven't seen happen in maybe 4 or 5 years. And that's the thing, right? That's the main thing in this business is we have to survive, right? We may lose opportunities, we may see the market going up or down without us, but the main thing is we just got to survive here. There will always be opportunities on either side, but if you don't have capital, if you don't survive, it's just, there's no point, right? We won't be able to do anything if we see something. I think another in my case, right? When I was doing the evaluation on my day yesterday, I have considered that I have lost or have spent a lot of capital, mental capital, during the initial part, during the first part of the trading day, and that got in the way because we just don't have financial capital here, right, to spend. We also have mental capital. I placed way more than I placed more trades, way more trades than I should have done. Yeah, usually I'd say when I do 4 or 6 trades, I say that's a lot, and I did almost 3 times that, and that's not good, right? And when this movement happened, it started to become clear once E high was taken, right? But the thing is, if you are playing the market as a rotational day, right? Being in the short side up here or being in the long side down here, throughout the day, when this happens, you may get just too tired, man. I feel really tired just to keep doing anything here. Actually, this was the most important thing that happened, right? It was I traded some micros here, but how can I say this? I guess I have lost of objectivity here. All right, I was just so focused on what happened before that I couldn't focus. I couldn't see, right? I couldn't have a grasp of what was happening, and that because I didn't have more mental capital here anymore. But seeing now, today, I don't see much really. I see a 3-day range, potential for an inside day range. The market has come back inside this. If I split this day, for example, I will see the market has come back into this area, which is not good. The low here, the opening has been bought twice, 2 times. There's nothing here as the market goes higher here. There's a volume that is started to accumulate higher than I guess was 67 or 5, something like that yesterday. It's building up, like moving. I would say moving whole. Let me see. Let me show you. Moving like this overnight. Moving like this, right? But it's different movement. Right? Instead of seeing bars, what I'm seeing here now is volume. Volume here, another set of volume just up there, and who knows if tomorrow we may have another volume up here and another volume on Friday that can be taken out. The whole thing can be taken out on Friday, depending on what the number is. So far, all these news releases, the reaction the market has had, it was muted. That can change at any given time. Also, we have this shutdown event that is over upon us, and anything can happen, right? If it remains, I don't know. It has an impact, really. It has an impact, and what the market does is, I don't know what the market can do. Sometimes you will have a reaction in the market, right? That something that is condensated in the expression. You buy the rumor, sell the news, or sell the news, buy the rumor, right? Whatever it is, depending on what the market is doing. Right? If the market is going higher, even though the potential outcome can be very negative, once the news comes, if the market has already made a movement to the upside, what can happen actually is a liquidation of that. And just pay attention to that thing as well. All right. I'm going to take a break here. I am a little bit tired here, to be honest. Notice what's happening to value. It's moving slightly higher, right? Look at that. Now, check the whites here. I'm looking, as the market goes higher, I'm looking at these whites here, these whites here. Right now, the best thing that can happen to this movement is that these reds start to come up here. Reds or purple, right? And the market continues to go higher. Another thing is the market has a pullback and reds comes and then comes back again. That's a different thing. That's completely different. It's very mechanical high here. Alright guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. If you have any questions, please just let me know. You can post a comment on YouTube or send an email, anything. It's appreciated. All right. Have a wonderful rest of the day. See you.